side by side. We went, especially on that, get back, we'd go down the windshield wiper work, and we went clear out, kind of over to the county line road, went out, circled back around through trails that were thrown into about that white, what was brush. Come out, let them bone dry. Seen a couple turkeys, 4 deer, and now
Hey, Rex, let's go, buddy.
in the middle of the day.
What are you up to?
Looking good. We're all right. Went over the budget. Got it done.
Meetings tonight.
Yeah.
That clock's way off.
And somebody's better
You're
not
still here last day, or you still got?
tomorrow's day off, day before. They can get you some work done.
Was this all what we posted 2 days ago for
Yes.
everything ordered?
We did not bring any minutes because we were only supposed to talk about the Fourth of July celebrations, and then a bunch of stuff got added. We might have to.
Yeah, we just said that. They did? Yeah, they got them was.
Okay, so I thought maybe, once I was driving through, you know, realized that we had so
Now,
much.
it takes a lot here to plug in with that.
Yeah, and we were gone.
That's what, yeah.
It was still here when we left town.
Yeah, so they were,
By getting into our building is something else. Did anybody contact you about it?
She did.
Over the weekend?
But not anybody
there.
at the time?
A night,
No.
right?
I'm not,
That's all I've seen it, it's for a night.
cause, yeah, Matt and the kids had come down Saturday, so this home and then
I like to say,
Sunday.
get the tires,
Plug in the one.
Johnny might be heading home this weekend.
I guess we just throw that breaker one out.
I guess we're gonna have to.
As long as it doesn't affect anything like.
Yeah, shut down the Wi-Fi.
Got down a grid.
There were several times I.
Yeah, either we shut down this, I think it shuts down everything in Bovill, so. Cause their wireless is somehow weird, it's, if you shut down.
But
fire,
on the
everything's
panel,
on.
there should be external outlets, so I'm sure.
That'd be nice.
I just thought that was kinda odd, and then.
Put those little plastic covers in there so they can.
Child protection.
Is it time?
If you want it to be at 7:27.
Okay, we better wait the 3 minutes, I guess.
2 hours, 2 minutes and 32 seconds, we're good.
Yes, and schedule an appointment, have the oil changed.
You still in Montana, Mike?
Now and again. No, I'm gonna be going to Oregon this week. I was gonna go today, but I just had to have a meeting.
Got chit chat a little bit.
Got carried away.
set up.
Let them get their chair set up.
Yeah, 7:29.
Set up the chairs.
Yeah.
This is one thing.
Meeting come to order. We start with the pledge allegiance to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Action item is accept and amend agenda. Is everyone had a chance to look over the agenda for tonight? See anything you want to add to it, or?
We were going to discuss the fireworks and Bovill days.
That is left off, Kristen.
Oh, shoot.
I didn't know.
We have to
if
add
this
that.
goes
Oh,
with the
they're
other
number
stuff.
4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Okay, okay. It is on there. Is there anything else?
I think the point he's trying to say is that those are the items we're gonna talk about, not the rest of these items. I think it's just
What was that again?
I think he was saying that those items were what we were gonna discuss in
Yeah.
other.
This is a
items.
special meeting, and we can go back to the other meeting, other step next meeting, a regular meeting, if we have more.
If you guys are pressed for time, that's,
No, that's fine, I mean, we can go talk about it.
Did you have anything you want on here?
No, there was just some stuff I want to study up on these items, that's okay.
Okay. Okay, does somebody wanna make a motion that, about the agenda then?
make a motion, we accept the agenda as is.
A second.
Motion made and seconded that we accept the agenda as is. The first item of business, we have Tom Pollock here to talk about inland cellular, and would like to discuss about putting internet in a cell tower up at the water tower. Tom, would you like to come up and talk to us? Huh?
It's not going on the water tower. We don't wanna build anything on that.
By the water tower.
It could be by the water tower, but not on top of it.
Okay. Tom, do you wanna explain, come up and explain to us?
How do you guys do yours? Just come on up here?
Yeah, you can come on up here and tell us.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'll sit here, so I guess the
Go
rest of you. So, his question was as far as nothing on the water tower, and that's not something that we're proposing. The big concrete vault is out here. That's the main water cistern, is that correct?
There's two tanks up there.
There's the old one and there's the new one, it's basically a vault. Yeah,
Okay.
a big room.
So temporarily, there would just be, if you would allow it, have something on top of the vault. It's not penetrating, it's not weight bearing really, minimal weight, and I could get those specs.
Yeah, because we have to check that against the engineering of the original
Sure,
proposed.
absolutely. So a little bit about myself, so you're aware. We live on the other side of Vassar Meadow, been out there 29 years. So we're out in this area quite a bit too, and it does affect us as far as out and about, things like that. So we're looking at, I know this is an underserved community, and it's growing. There's talk with the mayor last week and Christine 2 weeks ago. The growth in this area is not going to stop, and it's just more and more people coming in here. So I look at it from the infrastructure standpoint and economic development. That could be a two-edged sword. Some people are going to want to see that, and some people won't. But right now we have 119 cell phones in Bovill, and I know the service lacks out here. So I've been a customer of Inland since '97, and I've never shopped it. So by getting on top of that vault, actually from the water tower, if we will, we'll call it that, there's a direct line of sight to Spud Hill. So in order for the communications to work effectively, the towers have to see each other in order to get either the data back or the voice back. So we would like, with your permission, of course, and approval, to put something up there temporarily, and we could have something temporarily up on top of the concrete vault. And that would get things up and running probably in about a 3-month period, somewhere around there. Then the second phase would be off to the north, where there's a void, dirt, grass there. And then up in the northeast corner is, I believe that's the old cistern, or the old tank, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So in front of that is where we could potentially put an actual tower, and it would actually reach out quite a bit farther, the cell service. It would hit back towards Moose Creek, back in this area, and it'd be south towards Elk River somewhat, towards Clarkia, and then back towards East Road, back in there. So my son-in-law is a logger. He works for Hanson's. So I do have a dog in a fight. There's a bit of selfish reasons, I guess, for safety purposes. I'm one of the fire commissioners for Deary. So I know as this area keeps growing, communications is key. So I've been with them in about 2 years.
So how tall would this tower be when you put it, if you were to put on top of that cistern? And you're gonna use anchors to anchor it in?
I don't think we'd anchor it. There's a system called non-penetrating roof mounts. I would assume, probably being in IT, you're probably familiar with those. So a non-penetrating roof mount could just go on top and just actually be weighted like with cinder blocks. And they're not really big. They're probably, I'm gonna shoot from the hip, probably 8-foot tall panels, if that, for a temporary system.
And maybe guy wires off of that possibly.
I don't think so.
Just like panel, not.
Correct. Right. It'd be like a temporary platform, probably weight that down. And of course, we'd be responsible for any power that would have to be brought up and so forth.
And what, would the city get profit off of this, or?
We would. I spoke to the owner, and here's where I was talking to him. We already have limited cell coverage here. It would be nice to have full-on cell coverage. So it's not one of the communities that's like, hey, we're gonna spend, a great deal amount, but he is willing to pay as far as $200 a month to increase, the coverage out here. So that would be the recurring revenue right now.
Do any of you have any questions for Tom, or?
I'm not against any of it,
Yeah,
I wanna be real careful messing around water tanks and stuff, I don't want.
Is there any kind of radiation or interference that could harm anybody if it was there?
I would probably suspecting that question. So what he's asking as far as any RF, radio frequencies that would be harmful. My background is law enforcement, over 21 years, retired from that. I went to work at Clark Communications. Clark Communications, we deal with UHF, VHF, 700, 800 megahertz, things like that. Inland Cellular is somewhat similar with RF. So up top at the tower, there are devices that the tech people will use, and they wear them. So you can actually go to a top of a tower or the temporary location. I know this is a little bit long, but I think it's important for you to know. You could stand next to a tower or a panel. If you see these big white panels, those are antennas, is what those are. Or if you go down to Lewiston, Idaho State Police, you see these big round, looks like drums, those are antennas. You can stand next to those antennas with a device, and it's going to tell you how much RF you're actually receiving in your body. So if they reach to a certain level, you get away, or if you're gonna be spending a large amount of time up on the towers, then you literally shut the towers off. So they're doing maintenance tonight. There's about 9 locations we're gonna be working on at different locations. So it depends upon time permitting, how close you are to that panel, and the time if you're against it. So with that location, I would feel totally comfortably safe. I live here. I'm not gonna give
How
you
far
any
away?
bad information.
Because I have adjacent land right there, that's all.
Okay, so you're Mike, you're Bill's brother, okay. It's gonna be if you have a 180-foot tower up there, eventually in that spot, it's not gonna affect it. It truly doesn't.
How about sounds, hums, noises like that, silence?
Quiet.
And as
I
far
was-
as any lighting, there would be maybe on the large tower, would you guys strobe it?
I don't think they
There
would.
are a lot, not lack of light plans through here,
So,
except for high altitude.
it's a valid question. So, living out at Micah Mountain Road, Les Proctor's old place, that's where we were living when the Spud Hill Tower went up. I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a big blinking red light. And I was not favorable of that, and just be personally, and I'm being honest, I work for him. They did not put one up there on top of Spud Hill. I was just up top of Spud Hill about a month ago, and it makes no sound, none. So I would highly doubt, especially with that ridge to the northeast, that's gonna be lower than that ridge. I'd highly doubt if they would put a large light on there for blinking light.
My main concern was, like I said, the RF,
Right.
anything off that, because where I'm gonna place my house is direct line for hitting that tower. You go right through my living room,
Got it.
but should be above me theoretically. Do you have any data on that, so I can see what kind of
Sure.
transmissions they're gonna have? and
Absolutely, be happy to provide that.
Frequencies, that'd be cool.
No
For
problem.
peace of mind, if nothing else.
No, that's a valid thing, absolutely. That's probably a question I would ask as well.
Yeah.
So do we want a motion to table this for right now? Or-
Do any of the rest of you have any questions you'd like to ask Tom while he's here?
I'd love to see it.
Excuse me?
I'd love to see it. I just upgraded my phone, my new phone didn't work half as well as my old phone did here with you guys. I took the first one back last week and got another one, and it's about ready to go back and get my old one back.
It's interesting, do you want to hear any, I guess, years ago, I'm not sure if anybody of you been on Inland Cellular when it was analog,
Yes,
okay? You probably saw a decrease in coverage.
I
Probably the
don't
old-
have it now.
Okay, so I can explain if you guys want to hear why, what happens.
Go ahead.
So analog works much better than a digital signal. So in a digital pattern, that's why you need more digital in different areas. So this would increase this coverage tremendously. And you're looking at two different things, analog versus digital. So the old analog phones seem to work much better, and there's technology behind that. So, and that's why probably people's like, hey, this doesn't work right. So, but as far as coming out here, I think definitely with economic development, you'd see it would definitely be a benefit for everybody. So,
It would be really good to have for the loggers and the campers and the hunters and everything in this
it
area.
would. It would be able to hit, I'm suspecting, probably Brad Junior's area back in there, when we start getting a tower. Where we live at Vassar, we do not have a direct line of sight to Spud Hill. We don't see it, but we get full-on LTE easily. So we'll get 4G LTE right there.
That's not to mention all the people in town that would benefit.
Yep.
So, what would the council like to do about this tonight? Would you like to get more information before you make a decision, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's not gonna be talk about having, when would you start planning on doing, moving forward work? Because obviously we want to take a look at the engineering of the existing tower for load bearing, and then the proposed way to what structure's gonna go on it, obviously. That's the main thing,
Right.
you know. And then, I'm assuming at that time you could probably get me some data on the RF
You bet.
information on the proposed being temporary tower, because that one's gonna be quite a bit lower compared to the full structure
Sure.
when you get near that. So I propose we could move ahead with as far as getting the data from them to look at, and then from there we can move forward off of that to try and make a time frame for, you know, 'cause we have a little time between now and then. Does that make sense?
Sure.
We could give it to the next meeting, would that give us time
Yeah, it's 2 weeks out.
Yeah,
to get the information?
Yeah, I
So
think that's fair enough.
table it.
Is there a motion to table this till the next meeting to make a decision on it then? And get Mike the information, or anybody else the information that they would like?
I think we should just table it,
We
right?
don't have to have a motion to table it. Okay, let's do that. Tom, do you have anything else that you'd like to share with us, or?
A few questions. I know we talked to Christine about where the water lines would be. You know, it might be a moot point where you just say, okay, well, do we just do a temporary up on top of the concrete vault? Because if you have water lines back in that upper northeast corner that run through there, there's no way we'd want to even entertain as far as any going over any lines, if that is still in use as a backup system. I'm not sure if that's in use, or what kind of power, anything like that.
I'm not sure about, is there electricity up there?
I don't know if there's power up there anymore.
I don't know either. I tried to get a locate on that water line, but that was quite a while ago, and I wasn't able to get it. I just stayed off
There's
that
tank
road.
monitors in both those tanks to tell the system if they're low.
Yeah, it's not high voltage, I don't believe.
I don't think so. But both tanks are used together.
So there's probably a baffle line between the two.
So who would have really intricate knowledge about the entire?
Nobody in this room.
There's a drawing,
It should be in some,
the original drawings from when the water system was put in.
Okay.
City Hall.
All right.
Okay, move on to number 2. The action item is to raise RV rates. If we raise the rates 5% effective July 1st and send letters to let the residents know. If we raise them more than 5%, we have to have public hearings to raise them that high, that we could start out by raising them. Our rates are really low compared to everybody else in the area for that RV park.
So, Christine, did you talk to Harrington and why we put public with the power to the consumer versus raising the rates?
He
5%?
said that if each individual, site had a 50 amp or like had its own meter, we could do that. But we only have like 2 or 3 that have that.
So we'd have to upgrade the sites to have their own
Correct.
meter.
And how would you do that for just one night or?
You would just,
You just pick a one-night rate.
yeah,
You
you
could.
just pick a 1 night rate, but like if it's, weekly or monthly, you can tally up what that number is when they get there and what that number is when they leave. And then somehow, I'm sure, we'll figure it out. Figure it out that way.
cost to upgrade, that's what that would be.
That's what I was wondering, because you're gonna reap more of an income for your outcome to get it done. I just don't know what that costs.
But I mean, RV funds we do have funds in the RV, so I mean, if we need to, the cost, but let's say 3,000, 4,000, I mean.
John has mentioned that some of those big RVs run their air conditioners
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
all the
And
time.
then people with, I know how this, I used to be on the road a lot in RVs working, in winter time I'd have every milk house you guys can get my hands on, but if they're paying for product. Just that simple. AC in the summertime, all day long when I'm not there, so it's nice and cool when I get out my hot day at work.
Mhm.
They're
That's
doing
cool,
the same thing.
you can't blame them.
Human nature.
So, should we entertain I agree with doing the 5%, but also should we try to see about how get a bid or open up for bids to see if we can figure out how much it would cost us to actually upgrade those?
That's the same thing I was thinking.
Okay.
You're gonna have to change the main service. Dump the main service out there. We looked at that. Not big enough for 14, 50 amp RV outlets.
Because most of them are 30s.
like a minimum of 400 amp service, and that's only 200.
So it's a more expensive a project than I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta have power coming in to put it out, so.
Yeah, you may have to have a Vista bumper feeder in for secondary. from the-
Yeah, double line in, yeah.
Maybe we think about doing some of them, maybe that's gonna stay longer than say, so many days is on that part of it. Everybody else would be just a flat rate.
Well, we've had some full-time residents over there that, and it's not a full-time park. And our electric bill was really high during the winter, like, wasn't it 1,700 one month?
Yeah, something like that.
16 something?
So pretty.
Holy crap.
Nice table.
I'll just stay over here, see what's going on with it.
That lock needs to come down on that.
Yeah. Don't touch it, you're still in harm's way. There you go.
Did we get it now?
Yeah, my whole cup of water just went all over.
Be careful walking up here, anybody.
So do we want to, look into what that would cost for the upgrade? Cause I think if we do it a temporary, that's gonna get tricky too, because like, somebody says they come for a week, and then they like it, maybe they wanna do some shopping for property or something, you know, now they're here for 2 months. Now they're getting that free ride, so they're not getting that additional fee, you know.
Yeah, you
for
could
the
get some more too.
We'll use these out here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to figure out how to do it, how we can.
It'd be nice to find out a bid still, get some bids and see how much it would actually cost.
Get some bids or something.
This is something we need to discuss.
But we can go ahead and get bids, that's one thing. And, you know, if we can piece part it, you know, like we said.
Do we wanna do,
we can
raise the
do it.
rates temporarily at the 5%, or?
I do.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, we can, at least, I mean, we're still backwards in it, but yeah.
Because we have Will made a resolution up for us to do that, if we wanna do that. The rates have been $250 a month, and raising it 5% and make it $262.50. Weekly rate has been $100, and it'll be $105, and daily rate has been $20, and it'll be $21.
That's not.
It's, no, it's still
5%.
very cheap.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the 5% increase.
I second that.
Been a motion made and seconded that we approve the 5% increase. All in favor? Opposed? We will approve that and put it in effect the 1st of July then.
And then make a note that we can try to get bids to see how much it would cost to actually upgrade the infrastructure in the RV park as well, and the commuters.
Hang on just a second, I'm trying to, my wits about me here.
Okay. I know, your table fell.
Right on my paper.
You want some dry paper?
Is that a new table?
I don't know.
Okay. Action item and discuss proposal of removal of potlatch building to the west of City Hall. What? The building is falling down. It's a nice building, was a nice building at one time, served its purpose, but there's mold in it and it's falling down.
Okay. I created an RFP and I gave
Yeah,
it to
I
you.
didn't bring it with us printed out, but I did bring it up on my,
Did you show Will Harrington it?
I did, I sent it to him, and he, had a few little corrections or whatever, but he said that, we do need to, obviously, we know we need to post it in the paper and, put an ad in there for any bids
Okay.
that we
We
want.
talked about that last time.
And the RFP would pretty much secure any kind of bids coming in
Correct.
and such.
And we can choose whatever one we want.
Okay.
Gail, with that information, said we should just wait to get that process started, and we can
Yeah, get that.
further on with that.
Yeah, so do we have to, so,
That spot down there make an ideal place for restroom facilities at some time. down the road if we ever got money enough to have to do it.
Okay, so I make,
There's water and sewer there.
true, I make a proposal that we post, it's in the newspaper. Post the RFP on our website. Right? Or do we need the RFP on there at all,
We don't have to, but we can.
if we don't have to?
I don't know, I'll have to ask Will, but I think we gotta post it publicly somewhere.
Okay, let's post it on our, website as well as on
Okay.
the billboard.
Okay. Is there a second to Will's motion?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Opposed? So we'll take care of that. Motion carried. Number 4 is, will we be moving forward with the annual fireworks, and also, I guess 5's included in that. The governor's opened up to more than 50 people in a spot.
So with that said, since obviously I have a hand in it, I had Paul at work on a flyer that I would like to, if we accept to go forward with it. I'll just read the verbiage on it. Kind of looks like we had more to show everybody that we have to start production because, okay. So it says Bovill's Big Bang Independence Day Fireworks, East City Park, Bovill, Idaho, July 3rd, 2020. Bovill's Big Bang Fireworks Show is funded entirely by donation, so please bring your cash donations and toss in the drive-by basket. This is an opportunity for the entire community to gather at a safe social distance, of course, and celebrate the Bovill Pyrotechnics crew are urging anyone who attends a fireworks show at East City Park to comply with Governor Little's COVID-19 socially distancing guidelines. If you have these symptoms or aren't feeling well, please stay at home or inside your vehicle should you choose to attend the fireworks in Bovill. We encourage family units to space out with 6 foot of distance in between groups in an effort to minimize people gathering. The public restroom in the park will be unavailable. We apologize for this inconvenience and ask that you plan accordingly. We encourage you to bring your red, white, and blue mask and wear them. Please be mindful that while you may not be concerned about contacting the virus, others may be at risk. Your cooperation is essential to the success of our event. Thank you. So with that said,
That sounds pretty good.
yeah, pretty good verbiage. I thought so too. Not quite the wordsmith as me, but she's pretty good.
You're still encouraging the social distancing and,
Yeah, because she went through and we talked about Governor's Little's phase 4 opening, and these are those guidelines verbatim, basically, just a little bit nicer put. So these will be what will be like at the Deary store and post office near, and we'll have these posted in multiple locations in the park as well as a reminder when people get here.
Karen Avers is doing a little newsletter thing for town, so we'll have to give it to her so she can,
Right.
Do we
Put
need
it
to
down.
put like X's in spots or anything like that, or do we have to
What now?
regulate how much is 6 feet for people, for spots, or
Well,
do we wanna worry about that, or?
I don't know as if,
Especially, again, depending on the group of families, so.
yeah, that's the thing, you know, like.
you can't go around and check to make sure everybody's.
That's the
down
problem,
there.
I mean, and it's a recommended guideline, I mean, it's participant cooperation, some people probably aren't going to, but hopefully the majority of the people do. And with this being said on the flyer, people are gonna look at it like you look at the flyer and they're gonna say, okay, but they're gonna sell us extra stuff, so hopefully they'll kind of graze through it and glean something out of it, and maybe take that with them. I mean, if you see a bunch of stupid stuff, I mean, we could probably step in and say something, as we're getting set up. It's like, hey, that's stupid. If we see something to that effect. And also with that said, instead of like Paulette going around and asking for donations personally, we're gonna have like a big barrel or something right there where the road intersects, can't remember the names of the streets, but where it goes past the fire hall and heading up eastward, because everybody has to access either that way unless they go all the way around town, which is just gonna be something local. We'll just have like a big galvanized garbage can or something, just drive by and, out the
Somebody will be there to man that.
yeah, so it'd be there to kind of man it and encourage it. So anyways, that's the way I'm looking at it to go. I would like to see it also for the fact that there's been a lot of, heartache and turmoil in a lot of people's lives, so I think something like that bring people together.
Yes, it
in the
would.
community. Be a positive thing.
Agree.
That's really well done.
You've got action item down there, but it's not really up to us to make the decision. It's Governor Little's decision to
Yeah.
make.
Well, it kinda is, if you guys wanna have it. I mean, and does anybody out there
It's up
have
to the
any
mayor to accept,
thing about it?
is what I was told when I called Governor Little's office. It's up to the mayor in your town to accept any, like, if you wanted to go ahead with stuff.
Well, I accept it.
Okay.
I mean, they don't have to, I don't think necessarily we have to vote on it, but we have to make, I kind of put it as an action item because we have to do something with
Well,
it.
maybe we should ask the fire department if they're, because they participate in the control down
Of the
there,
fireworks.
if they're willing to come and participate.
We have to.
You know, so everybody's in agreement with everything.
Okay.
I think that's.
You're willing to do it, Cliff?
I think
You're
we-
willing to do it?
Oh, there
Like usual?
You have to do it.
Well, it's
usually-
just, it's
we
better to
usually-
ask than demand.
Yeah.
Usually
You
they're-
know what I mean?
Anyway.
I think it's a really nice addition to our town to have that, and people enjoy it, and
Like I say,
it's a great display.
hopefully we can just, people, will follow the majority of the rules. Fortunately, we're not in a real heavy area of that, but that's not saying it couldn't happen, but hopefully people will just be mindful.
I dry out a lot in the next couple of weeks.
And then if we do go back to phase 3 or 1 or 2, it's subject to cancellation, right?
Yeah, if it goes backwards, I mean, what do you do? Just what it is. I mean,
Hopefully we go ahead instead of going back.
Yeah, but we probably should protect ourselves and say, subject to cancellation if the,
Either
Well,
go
it probably
ahead.
won't be much of a choice if the governor ordered it, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think the flyer as it stands is fine, because obviously it's not a paid for venue, so if it does pay for it, have to get shopped.
And
it's
you
like
guys
they show
putting it
up,
on
you sit in
for-
the car looking at the grass
for-
field. What do you do?
sure,
Yeah.
Make sure you have the garbage can out.
Yeah. Okay,
So do we have we have to have a motion to,
I don't,
sounds like, up to you, according to.
it's fine with me.
All right, fine, thanks.
Hey, Diane,
Yeah,
if you make a motion, and I'm only going on what Brad and Dwayne would say, they usually didn't make a motion because then you're sanctioning everything and puts more liability on the city. So you just talk about it and you know that it's
Okay.
gonna happen, you don't have any problems with it. But I wouldn't make a motion on Bovill Days or the fireworks, just say that you're fine with it.
go ahead with it. Thank you.
That's all I know, but you know.
But you was here a
sometimes-
long time, so you know a
So
lot.
sometimes I just go with Brad and Dwayne. We don't sanction it, but you guys go ahead and do it. That's what they always said. Baseball games, anything like that.
Okay. Thank you, Terry.
No, you're welcome.
So, we'll go ahead with it. Number 5 is to go ahead with Bovill Days, and that's kind of the same thing, and we're in phase 4. And, if people choose to have booths or do anything, I guess it's up to them. The truck show's coming to town. Cliff, are you gonna, what's the fire department doing?
Oh, we were just waiting to see if we're gonna have it or not. Same thing as usual, probably.
Same thing?
Yeah, the commissioners told them to act out as they usually do. So they'll have a barbecue,
Cool.
picnic over at East City Park.
And
They supervise the parade and try to, do
the
some
truck club's
sort of
coming to town, but it's not gonna be, any registration things this year, and they're not doing any raffles or anything. They're gonna be on Greg's private lot, and they're probably, it's up to 100 people now, but it was 50 when they was talking about it before, and there won't be 50 of them standing in one spot anyway,
Are they gonna be in the parade? We think.
probably. I don't know who's gonna show up. Randy said, we'll just play it by ear, whatever's taking place, so.
The only thing I see that might be of some concern with that is, you know, the candy throw towards the kids. I wonder if we should make that required for people to wear gloves that are gonna be tossing that candy, just in case.
That would probably be a good idea.
Because I mean, everything else you can choose to go to that booth, you stay back from the booth, you look at their wares, whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
People talking, migrating around.
Maybe the fire department needs to wear a mask and gloves if they're gonna be cooking,
That probably should.
do you think?
You need
Yeah,
to,
any food vendor, yeah.
you need to buy the gloves
Absolutely.
yourself and pass them out, because people aren't gonna come from.
You have to comply with the orders, I think, you know,
Yeah.
baseball orders.
There are no orders,
Or-
suggestions.
Yeah, the recommendations, yeah, exactly. But, you know, just little things like that, at least we're doing our part, you know, yeah, you don't need to get crazy enough and be out there in Tyvek or anything.
We got plenty of surgical guys on the fire trucks.
Yeah.
That's not a problem whatsoever.
I figured. Cool.
It might turn out to be a big thing that day here, as other towns have canceled, but they're canceling so much stuff this year. But we'll just have to play it by ear and see what happens with it,
Okay. Well,
and go forward with it.
all right, sounds good to me.
How about the restroom and stuff down at park and stuff? We're gonna have to be responsible for keeping
You know, see, there's,
cleaner and stuff in there.
well, the problem with that thing, that's why we're securing it for the fireworks, is because obviously it's a harbor for germs, no
Well,
matter.
that's why I was wondering about the one down here, at our honey bucket down here, what,
That gets cleaned weekly,
Well, I know we,
Cleans weekly, but I don't know
I
how.
don't think that's,
and there's hand sanitizer on there.
I don't know what we do about that.
Well, they gotta go somewhere.
I
So
know
you
that.
have
I
to go
know,
out behind the
but-
building or in there.
I'll tell where you live.
Yeah.
I could
I
put
just-
signs up saying enter at your own risk, I don't know, put some hand sanitizer in there.
That should be on there anyway.
But, you know,
I think that it should be there, there should be, I mean,
yeah,
people are
but
gonna need
People
that.
gotta
I
go
wonder about if
somewhere.
we need to have hand sanitizer.
Well,
there.
they do come with them, you order them.
There are hand sanitizer there, they clean it once a
I mean,
week.
it's,
Yeah, but do they have very much? I mean, you know, what I'm saying?
we can always get another bottle and shop it
Might
in
take
there if
several
we have to, but
bottles,
it's no different than you go to the grocery store and you gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah, you gotta touch the door, and then you gotta get up, and you gotta touch the door, and keep your hand.
Wash your
you know.
hands when you get home.
And they're gonna probably all have hand sanitizer on them, they're gonna probably have wipes on them, so,
Hopefully.
you know, if they don't,
Yeah, but as far as, they come with them, like you say, so I don't think it's a major issue. I mean,
Mhm.
people know what the risk is, especially now, and they just need to take measures to recommend.
as long as they got toilet paper and everything.
You could maybe
pretty
order a
much.
couple extra porta potties in lieu of possibly more people coming. With that said, than usual, you know what I'm saying, they're not that expensive, and it'd be a good backup and probably safer to be more sanitation stations available.
Then wouldn't we be responsible typically for providing that and keeping them clean?
Well,
You know,
Yeah.
I
You
learned
can just
that
get
catch
it for like a
22.
weekend, for the weekend only,
yeah, it's just gonna be for the event.
Right.
and then
I
pick
guess.
up Monday.
I just see it as a potential issue that we have to keep it clean, someone has to go in there. Isn't it suggestions that you have to keep that restroom clean all the time?
But it's no different than what you've got down there now, that you're not keeping clean every time somebody walks in and out.
Yeah, don't look at me.
I think that it would be in everybody's best interest to have one or more, I really do. I mean, you wanna tell a 5-year-old, sorry,
Right. That's true.
So, what do you wanna do?
well,
Should we get an extra one, just,
I think we should get a couple extra ones personally, because like if you say all of a sudden people decide, well, I have a potlatch, let's go to both.
Right, but I'm just wondering, should we have hire somebody to do the cleaning for at least a day or 2 days, or a day for both?
That's probably not a bad, you know, just maybe go down in there, you know, every half hour or something or whatever.
Spray
every
Lysol,
hour
Lysol.
or two,
Whatever it
you know,
is, whatever
spray
it
it with
is.
Lysol, clean it, make sure it looks good, and then we're good.
Yeah, I
At
mean,
least cover
Problem
our
is, who you
bases.
gonna get? I'm not doing it.
I'm busy.
They invented rubber gloves not that long ago. Slap those babies on. Oh, what is it with men in toilets? The tiny bowl man does not exist.
All we need is Lysol, right? Disinfect it, kill the germs. People were talking about.
It's not like you're scrubbing a toilet because it's a hole.
I will keep my comments about porta potties to myself.
But no, I don't think that's a bad idea, Will.
Sheila?
I just suggest that you put out more garbage cans. Last year, there was 3 garbage cans in the park, and that's not nearly enough for all the people over there.
Is there any more floating around down there?
There's 3 there all the time, 4, 5 there all the time, and we put 2 more out.
Does he have any more stash down there?
Does John have any over in that shed? That's where Kelly and I got him one year.
We put everyone we have out, I know that, we can get more, that's what you wanna do.
I got an extra one at my house. 2 of them actually.
You wanna loan to the city for the weekend?
Yeah.
Taken care of. Garbage cans are taken care of.
Okay, instead of hiring somebody, let's put a Lysol can right by there and say spray it before we leave.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, chain it.
So they don't get
Just don't
better
forget,
weld it to
because
it.
wipes are in demand.
You're not using ours.
No,
I just bought it.
those are hard to find, that's for sure.
Dollar store, dollar store.
Those what?
Lysol spray.
Oh, yeah.
Safety's
Go
got
to the
a
dollar
whole
store.
bunch of different sprays, I mean, like
Well,
industrial.
can we just make our own
source
spray
for
bottle
lots.
full of water bleach?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
got some
I'm
Everclear.
gonna say bleach is
Well,
probably.
maybe not bleach, maybe, okay, isopropyl alcohol.
Well, there's Everclear, you can use Everclear, it's high
They'll
alcohol.
be drinking it in there.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
Why don't you just drink it and then
Take
you
the
won't care
straw
whether
off and start
you use it or in the bathroom.
Okay, so it's agreed that we'll find some sort of sanitation spray too.
Make sure they spray it when they leave, we'll put a sign up, say, please
We can
spray.
put a note on the door, please spray area after use.
I think we can come up with a can of Lysol.
To COVID.
Or
Yeah, I
something.
think
Yeah,
we
at each of them, yes.
That can that I brought down the other
can. I
day.
still have that dollar store stuff too.
Well, there's a ton of them, Safeway's got a ton of different sprays, and
Yeah.
they're like industrial
Doesn't have to
hospital
be
sprays. and-
Lysol.
Yeah, we'll pick up something.
Good.
Okay,
Okay, moving on to number 6.
And then I'm just wondering if that bathroom, if we do that, if fireworks, we can have it open as well. Or do we wanna usually do that? I don't know.
It's
just
45 minutes an hour, it's not an entire day event.
True.
Tell that to a 5-year-old.
I promise not this year. It's not Halloween. Okay, I
Number
understand.
Number 6, do we charge the hookup fee? There is a sewer and water and sewer at 600 Pine Street for Raymond and Devon. Devon. Atkins at the new residence. And property owner has not paid the monthly water and sewer fee.
Okay, Diane, can I say something?
You sure can.
Okay. The paying it was never an issue. They offered to pay whenever they first came into town, and went down and asked them to put a meter in. Okay? I bought that property from Greg and Rita. I assumed that the city had pulled that meter.
I
I
thought
did
the
not
meter
know
had
there
been
was one. But next time you guys decide to put our names and the way you wrote it up, at least let us know instead of us getting a phone call saying, oh, by the way, your guys' name's on the agenda to be spoken about. I like to be let known from the city. And this issue should never have been on special meeting or nothing. I was on council whenever we passed the ordinances.
The reason we put it on special meeting, Janice, is because I'm sure these people would like to have their water and sewer hooked up and turned on.
Which they already offered to pay the $2,500.
Okay,
So.
that's what the deal is,
There's
that,
never been an issue, and I don't know why the council has to agree to
Right,
hook it up.
I agree.
It don't.
I'm not
So
sure
I've
why
talked to Christine about this twice, actually. The first time I went to pay her, and she said, don't pay me now, let me put you on the list to get a meter installed. She said, I'm about the 5th person on the list, that there are other citizens in town who are waiting for theirs. And I said, okay, about how long? And she said I said about 2 weeks, and she said, well, I don't know, it could take longer. And so I said, no problem. And so I got a phone call, and it was on the machine, come down, we need to talk to you. So I came down thinking, okay, it's time, I'm gonna pay. And I spoke with her, and she said, I have great news. You know, Dane went, and the meter's there, and he turned it on, and it flows. And I saved you $1,500. You don't have to pay that. I said, That's what I thought. and I said,
There was a
okay.
meter there.
How do I know? I've been, you know.
that's not correct.
But
And so-
they were told from the get-go
2,500.
that
Yes.
Yeah,
it was
No
gonna
problem.
be used.
yeah,
as
when the
new-
water and sewer has me paid on something, it's like the meter's been pulled, so it has to start out.
If
For the
if you guys
2,500.
let
Yeah.
Justin Smith, after 15 or 16 years of non-payment, and almost $50,000.
This doesn't have anything to do with Justin right now, thank you, Terry.
If you can't discriminate
Yes,
against
thank you,
people.
Terry.
But you can't charge one person and not the next. You gotta treat everybody equally.
That was a different subject.
That was a different
So that
subject
was-
altogether.
That came to the council and was decided on that one.
Yeah, but
And
you
there was
don't-
more.
You didn't even go away.
We will discuss the Atkins problem right now.
There isn't a problem.
Yeah, so there's no problem.
No problem, and as long as they have
There was.
guaranteed to pay, yeah.
Yes,
Did you find where the sewer is hooked up at?
we haven't.
Okay,
We're still working on
okay, so all's well, thank you.
it. Yes.
Uh,
So do we pay now, or do we pay when we start service? Because we haven't started service yet.
whatever you choose, between now
Yeah,
and
you
when,
can pay
now or pay when you
you
get
start
the service.
service. Okay. No problem.
And when you want the water on, we just literally turn a key and it's on.
I know.
Okay.
Well, we'll
Okay.
get hold of you and let you do it.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
I think that sewer hookup should be about there where that old horse trailer.
Right.
Which we just now got it moved today back, so.
Did you find anything? I'm
It's-
not sure, but
It
that.
should be about that deep
There's
under,
nothing hooked to the end of the lines.
and we're gonna use another detector to see if we find it.
Probably plastic pipe,
Pardon?
probably plastic pipe.
It is, but I put a metal pot over the end
Okay,
when I buried it.
okay,
Thank you.
moving on to number 8. Oh, okay, I skipped that one, sorry. There's a water and a sewer hookup at 405 Alder to Scott and Susan Manfield. They've been paying.
they've been paying every month for water and sewer hookup, but they haven't been using it.
So is there a meter there?
There is a meter there, Dane went over there, and there's a meter there, but it's cut off from the city to the meter.
Basically, they have a meter from the shut off to the meter, someone cut the line. So the question is,
Oh, that's
we can hook
nice.
it back together, but do they pay hookup fee?
Do they pay,
or-
do they have to pay a hookup fee also? I don't know.
How long have they been disconnected? Or have they've been paying their service?
They've been paying their service.
Oh, yeah, so we don't charge them a hookup fee at all, because they've
And
been paying.
the line has been cut on their side of the meter or our side of the meter?
Our side of the meter.
In between the meter and the main line, yes. See, they've been paying the monthly thing, but even if they wanted water, they never could have had it because it's not hooked up, so.
So it's their property now, it's after the water meter, or
No,
before?
no, it's going to their water meter.
So it's on the city side of the meter, so the city has to repair that.
Yes, we
If
can
it's
fix
on
that
the city,
line.
if it's on their side of the meter, they have to repair it.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just not even hooked up.
So, we need to get that taken care of then. Is there anything else we need to do about that? We don't have to have a motion on that because they're following the rules, but they've been paying
We're just getting their.
the fee.
Yeah, and 6 and 7, I don't think they should have been on this meeting at all, but, I guess,
I was just thinking,
but I
yeah,
understand.
the Athens
They
thing,
wanted their
that
waters.
we wanted that
Sure.
so they could have it on it when they needed it, if it happens before the next meeting. Number 8, the ladies bingo would like to use the community center once a month and for 2 hours. We started out years and years ago in town. It's open to all the women in town or anybody, any of the women that would like to come. We don't make any money at it. We started out using the fire hall downtown, and when we no longer use that, we use the church with fire hall or church, neither one charged the women's bingo anything. And they would like to use this facility at no charge, and we would, the group would clean up afterwards, and it's a community thing.
So it's not reasonable to me.
Community center, that's what it's for.
It is a
For the
community
youth.
center, and it's to be used for the community. So somebody would like to make a motion to that, we'd appreciate it, and then we can get out of
We
here.
need a motion for it, do we? It's a community center, isn't it?
It's a community center.
But still, it's the charging, I mean, we do charge everybody else.
For certain events, like if somebody has a
If you
reception
have,
here or
if it's a
something,
private
right.
party, say you have a kid's birthday party here,
So either we charge it or, we're allowing this bingo to come through and not charge at all, so. are we
it's a
saying-
community thing for the women.
Right. Are we allowing this versus anybody else?
And it's the same as well, kinda similar to having, when they had 4-H meetings here or something like that.
Well, when we used to do the knit and crochet here, we didn't pay
Uh-huh.
anything for it, so it was,
It's a community center.
yeah.
Yeah, if it's a private, thing, then I guess we should charge.
Yeah, it's not a private thing.
As long as everybody, or,
Any of the women can come. Sheila?
Diane, what's the protocol for hooking up the water? You pay the $250 before they hook it up, you pay the $250 after they, or $2,500 after they hook it up, or you pay the $2,500 when the person on the property hooks it up? How does that work?
Sheila, we're up on another subject right now.
Oh, I thought you were done, sorry.
Sorry, we'll discuss that later. We've got Patriots' comments down here, we can do that then. So do we have a motion for using the,
I make a motion that we accept the ladies bingo function to use the building without having to pay.
I'll second that.
there's been a motion made and seconded that the ladies bingo can use the community center and clean up afterwards, and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I will let you know, we would appreciate that very much, and thank you. Okay, patrons' comments, Sheila, what was your question now?
Yeah, the water hookup, you pay the $2,500 before, you pay it when they bring it into your property, or you pay it when you hook up to water? There's 3 phases of that, right?
You pay the $2,500.
Up front,
If there was nothing there, then you ask the city to get a meter and put it on. And whenever you get the water, then you're paying the $2,500, well, it's what,
$1,500.
$1,500 for the water.
I just didn't know how that worked.
But then the
Usually
thing
everybody's
was,
pretty
is
flexible about it.
I didn't think that there was
Yeah,
ever a
sometimes
meter
they'll
there,
hook it
cause
up
I
and
figured
say
they
if
pulled it
it's
whenever
2500,
Greg got
yeah,
it
And
from
they
his
say you
dad.
want it, and then they hook
And
it
then
up
I
and
bought it
pay
from
them.
Greg, and I never wanted water on it. I never figured anybody was gonna have to take care of me when I get older.
Did she answer your question?
Things
Sheila?
change.
Yes.
Okay, any other patron comments concerning anything else that's going on? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I second it.
All in favor to adjourn the meeting?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. So I need to sign this.
Thank you.
Yeah, it'd be 2021 or something like that.
Next meeting at an earlier time.
Yeah. I don't see
It's still wet.
Just bring your chairs. Bring your chairs.
That's new one. The concrete's the new one. The one that's in the back, that's kind of dome, that's the old one. The concrete structure. I just wanted to see if someone.
Just leave your chairs.
Retail on our property. I mean, I'm all for it too, I just wanna know what the back part is, you know? Go over there and think they own fucking Bovill and put up the half.
Well, they just make sure it's in the right spot and they don't start, I don't want to be horsing around.
Dust it off and you're.
Question I had here
That's
is how
the
much
look on your face when you were bringing it up, it's like, oh my God.
service in there, I mean, coming up that evening or whatever through your life.
Well, there's about so much of that too that you can look into.
Right, cause if they're gonna have a rig through there every day.
You know, we're gonna tear the shit out of my car to get it to.
Right.
I didn't even use that edit thingy, whatever you said.
There's more than one
It
way.
goes tomorrow night, grab bag.
Well, I mean,
I haven't played bingo in well over a year.
Look at that, Jordan.
I know, you know, really,
And then put them
it just
in.
got so like,
Big old break.
drank water just spread out all over my nose.
We got a long table to stretch out on here.
Okay, I'm gonna go get some sleep so I can get up and go to lunch.
Good night. Thank you for coming.
I will, bye Christine. See you later, Lisa.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, the state's only going 13 to 26, after that is the way. I'm gonna say.
Well, if we,
I know, you're supposed to practice it in.
yeah, so I mean,
That's, I'm just saying that was,
yeah, I got you.
that's what we were talking about, so.